What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's Monday, and we started doing videos now instead of Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We're just going to do Mondays and Thursdays. I missed Thursday again. Like I mentioned in the last video, we all had Corona, so we're just getting back into things and, trying to get back into normal schedule. There's a lockdown here in Israel, so everything's also a little bit different schedule. Kids are home from school, all that. So just trying to find time to make videos. But I will add before we do today's video is that I started to upload all previous videos and eventually all these new episodes also as well as podcasts onto Anchor. So if you don't want to watch on YouTube, if you just want to hear my voice, so then you'll be able to listen on Anchor. Already put up about 10 episodes, probably the earliest videos I did starting from before the summer. And yeah, so I'll leave a link in the description. But today is Monday, and on Mondays we learn Breslov history and stories and all that. And like I always say in each video, we're learning from this book, Siach Sarfi Kodesh, Chelik Beis. And we're talking about Rav Noson of Breslov, who was Rabbi Nachman's main student. So we're going to continue where we left off from last week. And it says over here that one time Rav Noson said, all the stories that Rabbi Nachman told over, he said that he understands a little bit of it from each story, except for the story of the Melech and the Kesar. The king and the Kesar. The king and the Caesar, I guess? Not Caesar. The Kesar is also like a different type of royalty. That this is the second story in Tzipori Maisius. It's a very cool story. He says, this story is completely hidden from me, and I don't understand anything that's going on. One time, a relative of Rav Noson passed away, and she was very old. And Rav Noson went to the funeral, and at the funeral, he was crying. And they asked him after, like, why are you crying so much? Right? She was very, very old, like whatever. I'm saying, why are you crying so much? So Rav Noson said that a person needs to cry in front of Hashem, right? But not everyone is always able to cry in front of Hashem, right? So when a time comes that you can cry, like at a funeral, you have to use it and you have to take advantage of it. Rav Noson was noig. He was accustomed to wait at night for his kids to return from cheder so that he could eat with them. And he would also do benching with them and also read Kriya Shema Alamita. And then they all went to sleep afterwards at that time. You have to remember, back then, it wasn't like they went to sleep at like 11 o'clock at night. It was pitch black outside, so they probably went to sleep super early. Alpha, even though that he had to spend time, doing stuff with his kids, this took away from his time to do stuff at night, right? And this also made it harder to wake up for chatzos. But this was the way to do proper chinuch in Torah and avodas Hashem, to be with them and to show them. So that's what he did. One time the Chassidim were praising a person in front of Rav Noson, and this person, he took upon himself to not talk. Shtika. He took upon himself to not talk at all. Right? And Rav Noson said, but this is not our way. We actually have to talk, right? Because Rabbi Nachman said to go talk to people and everything like that, and always and to talk to people about service of Hashem and everything like that. But we have to watch our mouth, and we have to know what we're actually talking about. So he's saying that the way is not to just be silent and not talk about anything. It's a good thing to do maybe on Shabbos or whatever. I'm saying if you can for a little bit, but to stop not talk, you could do more by talking, Rav Noson says, and that's the Breslov way. When Rav Noson came close to Rabbi Nachman in El in the year Taf Kuf Samach Beis, right? Oh, I was just reading this in different thing, okay? Rabbeinu gave him certain special hanhagas, and certain things that he should do. One of them was to learn 18 prakim of Mishnayos a day, and Rav Noson was very mapped to do this every day. Even at one time on Simchas Torah, the first Simchas Torah that he became close to Rabbi Nachman, right? The whole world was dancing on Simchas Torah, and Rav Noson left to a room nearby, and he was learning this share of 18 prakim of Mishnayos a day. And when his father saw, who was very against Chassidus and all that, he was very angry. And he said, to my son, he gives him to learn 18 prakim of Mishnayos a day. As it was known that Rav Noson was a very, very big learner before he got to Rabbi Nachman. Because, right, so his father was saying, my son is like a big lamdan and everything like that, and Rabbi Nachman was only giving him 18 prakim of Mishnayos a day. Right? But that's what he did. And that's what it was. So Rav Noson was very happy to fulfill this seder, even though it may have been beneath him. But since Rabbi Nachman told him to do it, he did it. Rav Noson said one time that when they pass a person who is dead past my grave where I'm going to be buried, it'll be very, very good for the person who is dead. Psichazu shamenu Rabbi Noson ben Rav Leibeli Ruvens. Lacher stachuzu shamarnat Ratz Rabbi Aaron or Rabbi Breslov shezmin kever da'achalcha. Right. So that's also, by the way, that says that Rav Noson. It explains the whole thing that Rav Noson was buried at the beginning. So it says that after Rav Noson passed away, Rabbi Aaron, the Rav of Breslov, right, he wanted to be buried next to him. Right. He bought two places in the middle of the basic forest in Breslov, kever echad for him, and kever sheni for the first kever was going to be for Rav Aaron of Breslov, and the second kever would be for Rav Noson. Ulam Rabbi Noson, who was this guy, not Rav Noson that we're talking about, Rav Noson ben Rav Leibeli, a different Rav Noson, that he heard this thing that Rav Noson said, that a person who passes in front of my kever will be good for him. So therefore, he understood that Rav Noson wanted to be buried at the beginning of the cemetery, so that every single nifter that passes by will be good for him, right? And he would not let Rav Aaron bury Rav Noson in this place that he bought for him. And he went to the Chevra Kadisha and he commanded them that he should bury Rav Noson at the beginning of the cemetery. I think I read this again already in one of the videos, but I don't know why I'm reading it again, but I think there's some version of it that I read, or maybe not, I don't know. And I think I read this, man. Why am I tripping out over here? But I'm pretty sure that I read it somewhere else, but whatever it is. And anyway, that's where Rav Noson was buried, and Rabbi Aaron of Breslov was very angry about this, and he told this guy, Rav Noson, not Rav Noson of Breslov, whatever, not the main Rav Noson, this other guy, Rav Noson ben Rav Leibeli, that he is not Meichelim in this world and not in the next world, and you took away a very close friend from me, because you wanted to be buried next to him. That's that. So we know that Rav Noson is buried at the beginning of the cemetery, so everybody can pass by him now. I think I read this somewhere. Maybe it's somewhere else that I... It says that the Breslov Chassidim left a small area. Oh, you want to know why I read this? Because I read it probably... It was Rav Noson's yahrzeit, and we read about it, how Rav Noson's yahrzeit happened. I made a whole video about that. Okay, so that's that. Fine. That's why. Okay, I didn't do any of these videos yet. Okay, fine. Now it says over here that the Breslov Chassidim left a open space around the kever of Rav Noson, so that people could stand and daven, right? But in the year Taf Reish Ayin Gimel, they buried Rabbi David Tzvi, who was the son of Rabbi Shachna, who was the son of Rav Noson. So they buried Rav Noson's grandson there. Shahaya Aviv Shah Rabbi Nachman Nemerover. He was the father of Rav Nachman Nemerover. Mushum Ma'aser Shahaya. And what's the story and why they do this? Because in the year Taf Reish Gimel, there was a certain Rav who was nifter in Breslov. He was very big misnagid to the Chassidim, to the Breslovers, right? And they wanted to bury him in a very chashiv spot, even though he was against Breslov, but the people in the city wanted to bury him next to Rav Noson, because Rav Noson was chashiv, but this guy was a misnagid, so I don't really understand that, right? And the space that the Breslov Chassidim left, and when they bought the nifter to the basic kvaros to bury him next to Rav Noson, this angered some of the Breslov Chassidim. And one of the Breslov Chassidim went there and he laid down in the caver and he said to them, if you want to bury the Rav, so then put him on top of me, but I'm not getting out. And they couldn't deal with this guy at all because he was straight, that we left this spot so that we could daven by Rav Noson and nobody else can be buried there. And the Chevra Kedusha had to go bury him somewhere else. And then I guess they didn't want this to happen again. And at that same time, Rav Noson's grandson, Rabbi David Tzvi, was nifter, so they buried him next to his grandfather, Rav Noson. And there's still space in daven around Rav Noson if you've ever been there, so that's good. One time, when Rav Noson was speaking with a Breslov Chassidim in his holy way, he said, L'chayra, how is it possible that the ear is able to handle such high holy words that we're saying? Right, we have to say, Mishum Sha'amru Chazal, that the Chazal say in Sanhedrin, Akol be'asar shchinta sharia. Wherever there's 10, Heichan Chemiskavsim Asar Nashim Ledar Shebekdusha. So then if there's, it says in the Gemara that wherever there's 10 people, so that are gathered together for Kedusha, so then there is the Shechina as well. So therefore, we can able to be speaking these words, Ki Shechina Nimtzesham, because the Shechina is there, and that's how the world is able to handle it. Right, I think we'll do one more over here. Rabbi Shmuel Spielband, who was a Talmud of Rabbi Nachman, who they used to call him Rabbi Shmuel Tepelker, that he would go with him on hidden journeys that Rabbeinu did. He had a son whose name was Rabbi Nachman, who was a businessman. And he one time made for himself a very beautiful winter coat. And v'tafar al me'il bad mimeshi muhuder kiderach hanigidim, and he put some silk on it like the rich people do. And he came with this coat to Rav Noson for Simchas Torah. And when Rav Noson saw him, he was not happy about this coat situation, and he said to him, and he turned to him in Chachman. He said, Rabbi Nachman, right? He said, this beautiful coat that you have, it's not matim. It doesn't work just to put it in a regular, closet of clothing that you have. You're gonna have to switch your closet, and if you switch your closet, you're gonna have to switch all the furniture in your house to match the beautiness of this new closet. Ki ein ze yafeh. It's not normal that only the clothing closet should be beautiful. Everything has to be beautiful. So now you're going to switch all the furniture. And if you switch all the furniture, so then you're going to have to switch your whole entire house, because the house can be old. And you have to switch everything. And all this money you don't have. So you don't have all the money that you're going to need because of this coat. So one little coat could, drive everything. You have to change everything around you. So he was not happy about these things. Let's see, two more. Rav Noson praised Rabbi Shimon HaMechuna Rav Shimela Shamash Rabbeinu. Right, he was buried in Tzvas, that's the Arizal. He was Mekayim the pasuk Adam ki yamus ba'oil, and it says a person when he dies in a tent, and the Chazal make a drush on this pasuk, Ein ha'Torah miskayemes ela mi shememis atzmala. So that Rav Noson said that Rav Shmuel was mamish memis himself on learning Torah and all that. He also took care of Rabbi Nachman. It says over here that Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Yosef, who was the father of Pinchas Yeshua, he praised Rav Noson said, "Hu ha'yinaiter bris emes." He was mamish in control of his bris be'emes with no faults at all. All right, I don't want to finish off with that, so we're going to learn one more paragraph. Rav Noson was one time in Tisha B'Av in the city of Brod. Umachmas haderech eretz mipnei mornat lo yizarku sham harekim shebeis hakneses shtechiches kaitzim echad al sheni kimim b'chol shana. I guess there was a minhag in the Beis Knesses to throw thorns and bushes on top of each other. I guess on Tisha B'Av or something like that. But since Rav Noson was there, they didn't do that. V'amru limarnat ba'alatza, and he said to Rav Noson, like in a joking way, "Atem hifartem lanu es hayomtov." You bother our yontif a little bit. Okay, I don't really understand that. What's this minhag? Lo yizarku sham harekim shebeis hakneses. Okay. Anyway, at the time that Rav Noson was eating, they started grabbing all these shirayim. This is after Tisha B'Av, I'm guessing. And when Rav Noson saw this, Sameach ani shabbat sham beziknusi, and I'm very happy that I came to here now in my old age. Ki b'tzirusi lo yisi yachol tahavlig al minhagim elu. Said because in my youth I wouldn't be able to deal with these minhagim like at all. I would like freak out. But like now I could say, okay, we say this what they want to do, is what they want to do. Because you got more wise as old age, I guess. Okay, that's what we'll do today. And I believe after Thursday I will try to make another video with some other good stories from other tzaddikim. And thank you all for watching.